Hi everybody, my name is Sam Pedro and welcome to today's video. I'm finally going to do it. I'm finally going to talk about my favorite book of all time, which is The Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. And I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while now. I was stressed because I wanted it to be a great video for a great book. And there was also a part of me that struggles to label something as my favorite, because once I put it out there, that just invites others to come and tell me how I might be wrong and how it's not the greatest book. But I'm over all of that, and I'm excited to talk about The Sirens of Titan. This will be a spoiler-free review, so if you have not read the book, I will not ruin it for you. Okay, so The Sirens of Titan was published in 1959 by Kurt Vonnegut, and it is Kurt Vonnegut's second book. His first book was Player Piano. And it follows a man who is named Malachi Constant, who happens to be the richest man in America, but he did almost nothing to actually obtain this wealth. Instead, he inherited from his father this crazy way of picking the right stocks, and it turned him into this very wealthy man. He's offered a chance to go on a journey through space to one of Saturn's moons, which is called Titan. And that's basically how the book begins, and from there, it takes so many turns, it's unbelievable. The back of my book says that it's an outrageous romp through space, time, and morality, and I think that's actually a pretty good summation of what happens to Malachi Constant. There's so much happening, we take all these turns and all these detours, and then all of a sudden we're at this ending, which is short, but is an ending that I also love. Now, I've read this book multiple times. I read it at least every year, and with subsequent readings, the genius of Kurt Vonnegut gets unfolded. You can see how he magnificently orchestrates this grand plot. And so when you're first reading it, you're kind of just thinking, oh, this is random, and then we're here, and then we're here. But again, with subsequent readings, everything just falls into place, and everything has a meaning, and it's just amazing to think that Vonnegut was able to craft this story so beautifully and so intricately. In The Sirens of Titan, there are quite a few themes which Vonnegut is exploring here, and statements that he's making. The most obvious is he talks a lot about free will and choice and agency, and he just plays with these ideas and kind of tests them to their extremes. The book is full of people who don't really seem to be making their own choices, and instead almost everybody has someone above them who is either influencing them or causing them to do something. And now I want to read 3 of the most famous quotes from The Sirens of Titan, because I think this helps to show how Vonnegut is treating these themes of free will and agency. So the first one is, I was a victim of a series of accidents, as are we all. The second one is, the purpose of human life, no matter who is controlling it, is to love whoever is around to be loved. And finally, the third one is, the worst thing that could possibly happen to anybody would be to not be used for anything by anybody. Thank you for using me, even though I didn't want to be used by anybody. So the main character, Malachi Constant, really is all over the spectrum of human experiences. When we meet him at the beginning of the book, he is super wealthy and has everything at his fingertips, and he loses that quickly, and we see him at the other side of the scale where he has nothing, and basically all agency is stripped from him. And not only that, but he is essentially being used like a pawn in somebody else's grand plan. But the interesting thing, and kind of why I really like The Sirens of Titan, is as we see him go from the highest of highs down to the lowest of lows, it almost seems like he becomes happier, and maybe happier is not the right term. Maybe he's more content with his life, even though he has less and less control. And so it's almost like it's making a statement that even as there is unfairness in our life, and as we lose control, and all of our problems seem to be coming from somebody else's choices and how they affect us, we can still control how we respond and how we feel about things. Because I definitely think Malachi Constant throughout the book does display greater contentment with his life, even as things seem to be getting worse for him. Now, one last comment I will make about Kurt Vonnegut is he is full of great ideas. That's one thing I take away whenever I read his books, is just the quality of his ideas. He has a lot of ideas, he has a lot to say, and he makes a lot of comments about life in general. And quite often while I'm reading, I have to pause and just think about what I just read. And he uses humor and satire to get his ideas across, and I love the way he has done it. Now, The Sirens of Titan is chock full of these ideas. I've heard others say that reading The Sirens of Titan is like reading 3 or 4 science fiction books crammed into one. There's just so many things going on and so many ideas. Now finally, it is hard to put into words exactly what the Sirens of Titan means to me. I was in high school when I first picked up this book, and it just spoke to me. And since that time, as I've mentioned, I've read it just about every year since high school. It's one of those things when if I'm in a reading funk or I just haven't read anything good in a while, I will pick this book up and almost immediately I am rejuvenated. It just does something for me. I love the comments here about life and about agency, and it really is a beautiful book. It's hard for me to read the final chapter or two without getting teary-eyed. It's a great story, and there's a lot of power in this book. And I think that's all I have to say. I don't know, maybe I'll do a part 2 where I talk about the Sirens of Titan a little bit more, but who knows. But anyways, that's all I had. Thank you for watching this video. I love the Sirens of Titan. If you're looking for a book, if you like science fiction, go read this book. If you've read other Vonnegut books and you haven't read this book, go read the Sirens of Titan. It's amazing. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.